So my name is Craig Klein, and I'm the CEO of Sales Nexus, and I'm joined by Forrest Cassidy and Stella Cassidy of LeadFerret.com. Welcome.
Great. Thanks for having us today, Craig, and thanks for all of our attendees for showing up, and hopefully we can show everybody some really neat stuff today with Sales Nexus and LeadFerret.
Yeah,
we're going to... You want to add?
Hi, I just want to say hello and welcome everybody, and we're going to learn a bunch of cool stuff today.
Yeah, we're going to get right to some pretty powerful things here real quick. Here's a quick outline of what we're going to try to accomplish today. We'll do an introduction to Sales Nexus, our CRM and email marketing solution. We'll introduce you to LeadFerret.com's B2B contacts. And then we'll talk about our partnership and really what we're hoping to bring to the market and to you. Then, most importantly, we're going to show you how to target and reach B2B contacts in 15 minutes or less using LeadFerret.com and Sales Nexus. Then we'll get into some of the T's and C's, what's included in it, what are the costs, etc. How you can get started with your free access to LeadFerret and Sales Nexus. And then, as we talked about, we'll have some time to answer your questions. So, first of all, an introduction to Sales Nexus. We offer a CRM and email marketing solution to sales teams. We target sales teams from 2 or 3 people up to 200 or 300 people, and offer customer relationship management, which means keeping notes and having call reminders to stay on top of opportunities, managing documents. You can customize the system with your own fields and perform searches based on those custom criteria using Sales Nexus, as well as email marketing that's designed for salespeople. So this is not a separate email marketing solution. It's a built-in email marketing capability that a salesperson can use. You can send out blasts. You can create ongoing drip campaigns. We have analytics to track the opens and the clicks, and even provide salespeople with notifications when their customers are opening or clicking on their emails, which can be a very powerful sales tool, and automated management of the bounces and opt-outs and all that good stuff. So, Forrest, I'll let you tell everybody about LeadFerret.
Yeah, I just wanted to add one thing about Sales Nexus. I just wanted to say from our perspective as a partner of Sales Nexus, we launched LeadFerret, free business-to-business data. One of the first things we want to do is find truly complementary partners we can integrate their solution with LeadFerret. And, Sales Nexus jumped out at us right away as a company that has a progressive solution that combines email marketing and CRM seamlessly, and it made it really a no-brainer for us. So we were really glad to have found Craig and the Sales Nexus solution. Let me tell you a little bit more about LeadFerret. Again, we're the world's first 100% free business-to-business database online with complete information, including email addresses. And most recently, we added social media links as well. So you can not only find email addresses, phone numbers, and a wide range of additional contact information for millions of companies and contacts, but you can also find links to prospects that you want to go after, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn profiles. It's really powerful for salespeople. And now with the integration with Sales Nexus, we've added even more powerful tools. As I mentioned, it's totally free. You can download records free to vCard. You can download records into Sales Nexus, and you can download records into CSV file. We have a lot of other unique tools. I can't go into all of them right now, but one of them, for example, is our crowd scoring feature, where we basically use user input along with information we collect to score each record, and we make that score visible to you so that you can ensure that you're making the best use of your time by targeting the most accurate, the contacts which we have the most accurate information for. And again, we're just really excited to show everybody today how LeadFerret has been integrated with Sales Nexus to execute marketing campaigns in 15 minutes or less. I think it's going to really amaze a lot of our attendees today.
Yeah, and real quick for us, I'll just comment. Really, our partnership and our coming together was very serendipitous, I think, for both parties, and hopefully for our customers as well. Sales Nexus, we introduced our email marketing solution, part of our offering, about almost 2 years ago now, and since that time had been searching for a partner that provided B2B contacts for our customers, and reached out to a lot of the players in the industry, and at just the right time, we happened to learn about LeadFerret and the free model that LeadFerret had really just upended the entire market with. So we really were just thrilled to be able to partner with LeadFerret. We think it's just the combination of Sales Nexus and LeadFerret is just a completely unique and really revolutionary opportunity for salespeople. I know when I was a heads down salesperson several years ago, I would have loved to have access to free leads that I could call on. That's every salesman's dream. Okay, so the vision that we had in coming together is to make prospecting fast and effective for salespeople. So the idea is that in LeadFerret, you can go and target the very best prospects for your business, then directly transfer them into Sales Nexus and start reaching out to them, calling them and emailing them. And then, of course, with Sales Nexus, track the results of those efforts. And then based on those results, refine what you're doing in terms of who you're targeting. Use the information about the results to go back to LeadFerret and find even better prospects. So let's get started with the demo. I'm going to pop, there's a picture of my son for everybody to see. All right, so there's LeadFerret. So the first thing that you start with is let's find some prospects, and you can see here in the LeadFerret system, you can search in so many different ways. It's really, really powerful. You can search by title. You can search for companies. You can search by geography. You can search by SIC code, etc. So as an example, let's say that I want to call on company presidents in my territory in a certain geographic region. So I'm just going to type in president as the title, and I'm going to say starts with, and then down here under search by radius, I can put in my zip code, and I want to do 5 miles around that zip code. And I hit search, and boom, there are my results. And you can see here it's showing me on the map how far that radius extends. So I might look at that and say, you know what, I really wanted to include Spring Valley because I know there's a business center there or something like that. And I could go change that radius real quickly before I download any contacts or anything. But down below, here's my list of contacts. So you can see there are actually 663 that it found. So that's how robust the LeadFerret database is. 663 presidents that it identified. One of the other things that I really like about LeadFerret is you can target based on revenue and employees. So if I want to filter this down and only target larger companies, I could put in, 20 employees or more, $10 million in revenue or more. And then now what I want to do is select contacts to download. And as Forrest pointed out, you can download in your LeadFerret account a single contact directly to a vCard, and that's completely free. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to target a handful of contacts. You can see I could, kind of thumb through my list and target individuals like that by just clicking on the Target Contact button, or I can target them all. But one way or the other, I want to target, identify a few that I want to reach out to based on whatever criteria is important to you. And then once I've done that, I could go perform a new search and target more. So I might want to look now for vice presidents in the same area, et cetera, and target those contacts as well. And then I click on Save Searches. And this is where I'll see all of the contacts that I've targeted in any number of different searches. And
do you mind clicking on one of those records just to show the audience the level of detail they get for each contact?
Yeah, great point. Great point. That's definitely something we should show them. So there you go. You've got the company, address, SIC code, title, and phone number, and most importantly, the email address. And so you see right here where I click here to download my vCard.
Yeah, now this particular record does not have any social media links available, but in the lower right corner you can see where typically if there was a Twitter profile, LinkedIn profile, or Facebook profile, there would be a link there where you could pull up those directly.
Right. So here in this Save Searches tab, you see the To Sales Nexus button. So what you'll want to have, first you have to select which ones you want to check, or transfer. So I'm just going to say check all. So I transfer all of those contacts to Sales Nexus.
And you can also see that it tells you which ones have already been transferred to the far right, and none of those have been transferred already.
Yeah, good point. So you'll want to have created your Sales Nexus database ahead of time, of course, and you put in your database ID, which you'll get emailed, as well as your username and password here. And so I'm going to type in my password and hit go. And I'm ready to start my transfer. And you can see here again, it's letting me know so far I've transferred 45 this month. I've got 12 selected to transfer in this transfer, and my monthly limit is 250. So I hit start, and it's beginning the transfer.
And at this point, it's worth noting that it will not only transfer the records that you have selected, but it will actually check to make sure those are not already in your CRM solution, so you don't create duplicates. That's a great function that it has. And it will also, worth noting, is while Craig's account that he's using has a limit noted there of 250 contacts that he can transfer within this month, all attendees of today's webinar will actually get 500 credits to transfer 500 records within the first month, as long as they create an account this week with, and again, a free account with LeadFerret and a free trial account with Sales Nexus. So it doesn't cost you anything to create either account. If you create them this week, you get to transfer 500 contacts directly over.
Right. Yeah, that's a great point. So that's an incentive or a bonus for everybody that's in attendance today. So now that the transfer has taken place, I click here, and it's going to log me on to my Sales Nexus database. So now we're in Sales Nexus, and if I go over here to the Contact tab, there's my list. And in Sales Nexus, we have a field called Lead Source. It tells us where the information came from, so you can see those contacts are marked as Lead Ferret. Of course, you can load in your own contacts that you already have, in Outlook or some other system. So, to the point of reaching out to these contacts in 15 minutes or less, we've searched for and identified and transferred our contacts. Now we want to do something with them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the lookup, and maybe I want to specifically target the folks I've transferred over from Lead Ferret. So in lookup, I select Lead Source and the value Lead Ferret and hit lookup, and it pulls up all the contacts I transferred. And now that's my working list, those 3 contacts there. And so now I could schedule a campaign to start calling them. So it's going to remind me to call them, based on some sequence that you would define yourself. Or I can send out an email. And so in your new Sales Nexus database, you'll notice in the Letters tab, there's an email called My First Email that's designed to make it easy for you to quickly create an email template that you can send out. So if I click on that, right-click on it, and hit Edit, it says Dear, and then it has a mail merge field for the first name, and then it's got some text that I can replace with my copy, and then best regards and a mail merge field for my name. So what I want to do is first of all, I want to make it look a little nicer by putting in a logo. So right here I hit Insert Image, and I can upload an image from my local system, my local hard drive right here, and then all my logos and pictures and things will appear in this list. I'm going to grab my logo here and say Insert, and it inserts my logo into the template. And then I'm going to replace the text here with my copy. So let's say I want to make an announcement to this group. So my company just was awarded a big contract to take care of all the public parks in the county, and I want to let this group of people know about that. So I typed in my text. Now I want to hyperlink that text that I highlighted to my site, like that. And I'm ready to go. So I save it, and we're ready to send it out. Now there's a lot more you can do with these templates. They're fully HTML, so you can even paste in existing templates that you might be using in some other system now. But we're going to keep it real simple for this example. So I'm going to close that now, and now I go back to that template that I just edited and saved, and I right-click it again, and this time I say Open. In other words, I'm opening it for use, not for editing. And right here, when I say Current Lookup, and I put in my subject, and down here, I can turn on the tracking, so that's going to track who opened it and clicked on it. For a relatively small list like we're working with now, I might even want to turn on notifications. That means if somebody, by clicking Notify Click, if somebody clicks on my email, clicks on that link in my email, I will be notified in Sales Nexus. So I can pick up the phone and call them and say, hey, I saw that you saw our announcement. What do you think? Can we talk talk about doing the same thing for your company. So a lot of capabilities here to really drive sales. So to get this out, I hit send. It's going to warn me, do you want to email 3 contacts? Or it could be 30, or it could be 300. And I say okay, and boom, those emails are going out. Emails have been queued, and their statuses will be indicated in the notes history. So pretty simple, pretty easy, pretty fast. Very powerful way to target contacts and get yourself in front of them very quickly. Anything?
In this example, Craig, you've just sent out a few emails, but really just as easily any of our attendees today and users could send out a few hundred emails, or as they build the number of contacts within their CRM, even 1,000 emails easily to a specifically targeted audience if they were running a seminar or a luncheon or looking to meet people in a certain area, or even just trying to reach a broader audience across the country. They could, and again, I'm amazed every time I see just the whole flow of the process, how quickly somebody can actually execute this campaign. And I'm sure there'll be a lot of questions after today's presentation about it, but it really is just as easy as Craig just showed. And I don't think that was even close to 15 minutes. I think that was probably more like 10 minutes and while explaining the whole time. So the days of needing hours, days, weeks to prepare a campaign, prepare, launch, and get results from a campaign are over with this solution. You can literally find the people you want to find, get a message out to them, and start seeing real results within minutes.
Yep, that's right. Well, okay, so as we talked about before, we definitely want to spend some time on your questions, and there are a lot of them coming in as we're talking here. But real quickly, let's wrap up the slides with some important details here. First of all, what's included and what does it cost? Well, your Lead Ferret account is free. Searching for and downloading contacts in Lead Ferret is free. And that's what's so exciting and revolutionary about Lead Ferret. It's the only one of its kind. And Sales Nexus subscribers can transfer 250 contacts from Lead Ferret into Sales Nexus every month. So that means you can sign up today, go to Lead Ferret, and transfer 250 contacts. 30 days from now, you can go back to Lead Ferret and do the same thing with a different 250 contacts. So you can see over the course of a few months, pretty soon you've got a pretty nice sized database.
And it's important to note there, Craig, for today's attendees who sign up this week, that's actually 500 this first month to get you started. It's also important to note that the Sales Nexus free trial account is not limited. You can do this with the free trial account. So while Lead Ferret is free always, Sales Nexus with a free trial account, you can do everything we showed you today before you ever pay a cent.
Yeah, that's a great point. So effectively, you can sign up to both Lead Ferret and Sales Nexus for free. So you're going to sign up to a 30-day free trial of Sales Nexus. And as an attendee to today's webinar, you get 500 contacts in that first month. So for free, completely free, you get 500 contacts and can begin to send out emails and contact those contacts in the first 30 days without spending a dime.
Right, and of course we're willing to do that because we realize and we feel that users are going to see such tremendous value from this that the $55 per month, which is a very competitive price that Sales Nexus charges after the free trial, will be a no-brainer once people have seen the power of these solutions combined.
Right. Yeah, and the starting price for Sales Nexus after the first 30 days is $55. per month per person. And the important detail there is that's unlimited emails. You're not going to be capped on the number of emails you can send out. So you might have a list that you've already built up elsewhere, and you can load that in and send out emails as well. So it's a lot of value for a very small amount of money. So to get it all started for yourself, you want to go to leadferret.com and start your free account. You want to go to salesnexus.com and start your 30-day free trial and start searching and transferring contacts and reaching out to them. And the other thing I should be sure and point out is that Sales Nexus offers twice weekly training sessions, live training sessions on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 3 p.m. Eastern. And so that's a great way to get up to speed on all of the capabilities of Sales Nexus. We've only really just touched on a small amount of the capability of both LeadFerret and Sales Nexus. And in our training sessions, we'll get much more detailed and hands-on, and you can ask your own questions and see examples and so on. We also offer unlimited chat support. So as you're trying to send your first email out, for instance, there's somebody there that you can chat with and start getting answers and help. So let's get to your questions. There's just a bunch of them coming in, so I'm sure we won't be able to get to all of them. But Forrest, do you have any comments?
I would love to answer any questions anybody has. Obviously, LeadFerret is a free service, but we still do provide support and answer questions that people have. There's a lot of tutorials, video tutorials on the site itself, but we every day field dozens of questions and answer them to the best of our capability. And our objective is to help our users who are salespeople, marketing people, recruiters, insurance agents, small business owners, etc., have more power over the information they have access to and get better results at the end of the day. So any way that we can help, any suggestions you have for the site itself, don't hesitate to let us know.
There's a couple of common themes I'm seeing here in all the questions, Forrest, and one of them is a lot of questions about, the LeadFerret database, where did it come from, etc. And I'll let you answer that in detail. But I wanted to chime in real quick and say that one of the first things we did when we began talking about this partnership, we being Sales Nexus, is we performed our own tests on LeadFerret data in a number of different ways. I won't go through all of that, but based on our evaluation of other providers in the industry and our direct evaluation of LeadFerret's information, we found it to be very high quality. We were very pleased with the results. So I think you will be too. But Forrest, maybe you could touch on a little bit of what you guys do to maintain that.
Sure. So first of all, regarding the source of the data, the team that started LeadFerret has been in the B2B list industry for 10 years. Has been building data over that period of time, as well as developing methodologies for refining and cleaning and verifying data. We've also recently added a crowdsourcing option to the LeadFerret site, which will, is definitely contributing to the data on the site. So it's a combination of data that we already had when we started the company from previous endeavors, as well as crowdsourced information, and it will, continue to grow from data we collect ourselves as well as from the crowdsourcing. Also, as we mentioned, we didn't have time to go into every single feature within LeadFerret or Sales Nexus, but within LeadFerret we offer a very unique piece of information as well as a tool regarding the quality of the data, which allows our users to not only see the quality score for each record, which typically no data provider will do, but also to actually search by that. So, for example, if you run a search and you come up with 10,000 records, but really you just want a couple hundred to send an email to and or call on, you can actually increase the quality score to the point where you say, I just want, the top 10% of these records based on their quality score, which is calculated based on verification as well as user input on the site, which records are high quality, which records have expired, etc. So, I hope that answers the question. Of course, if anybody has any more particular detailed questions, I would be happy to answer those offline as well.
Yeah, and the other common theme I'm seeing here in all the questions is, there's people asking what's the difference between, how does Sales Nexus compare with Salesforce.com, for instance? And there's some people asking, can Sales Nexus bolt on to Salesforce.com? And that the answer to the second question is no. The answer to the first question is basically Sales Nexus is like Salesforce's Professional Edition from a CRM point of view. With
the email marketing module added, I might add, is something we, in our search for a partner that we found, was that to get the performance that you're getting out of Sales Nexus from Salesforce.com, we found you would have to spend about $170 to $190 per user per month.
There's some other good questions, like Tony here is getting right to the bottom line. He wants to know, what's the normal closing ratio? That's going to vary depending on your product and service and who you're targeting, Tony, but hopefully it will be very high. There's also okay, here's a great question. There's some people wanting to know, can I migrate data from systems like ACT or even Salesforce.com into Sales Nexus or LeadFerret? It looks like there's some people that are a little confused about where that would go. So Sales Nexus can migrate your existing CRM information from ACT, from Salesforce, from other CRMs into Sales Nexus. And then LeadFerret would be your source for new prospects to add into the Sales Nexus system and add to your email list or add to your sales calling campaigns.
But again, Craig, we have recently added the crowdsourcing option as well. So you can not only get new data from LeadFerret, but you can also essentially use your existing data to crowdsource and acquire even more data. Basically, if you've got X number of records, you can turn that into 2X through crowdsourcing on LeadFerret. And that's a system that is still in its infancy. We're still working on automated tools for that. So if you're interested in using LeadFerret for crowdsourcing, just email us directly at this point.
Yeah, that's really exciting. So these folks, there are a lot of folks based on their questions here, sounds like that already have their own databases in systems like ACT and things like that. So that would be a great option for them. And here's Dolores is asking, is the 250 contacts, is that per person? And the answer is yes. So if, let's say you have 10 salespeople on your team and they all are users of Sales Nexus, that means every month your company will be able to get 2,500 contacts from LeadFerret. So it's 250 per person.
Except for this month, it would actually be
5,000. Yeah, that's a great point. So yeah, just to be sure and be real clear about that, if you start your account today or actually this week, before the end of this month, before the end of March, you get 500 contacts per person in the first 30 days. And then it'll be 250 after that.
What other questions we have there, Craig?
Well, there's a lot of questions about, you know, sort of how they can customize the Sales Nexus system and create their own fields and things like that. I don't want to necessarily get too much into the weeds with the technical stuff. What I would say is join our training session coming up on Tuesday at 3 o'clock Eastern, and that's where we're going to get into how you do that in Sales Nexus, so that'll be a great opportunity. Also should let everybody know, as a result of your participation in the webinar today, you'll get an email, a follow-up email with several different links. We'll link you to both the Lead Ferret and the Sales Nexus site, of course, and also we'll include a link to our training session on Tuesday. And let's see, what else should we make sure and link them to, Forrest?
You mentioned the video that basically, I know there'll be the recording of today's webinar, but there's also the more to-the-point video of just exactly how to transfer the contact call and run the whole thing in under 15 minutes.
Yeah, that's a great point. We'll make sure that you get a link to a recording of this presentation. So if you want to go back and review anything, or if there's others on your team you want to share it with, you can do that. And also we have a video that we made that's more of a sort of a training of how to go through this process that we just went over. So we'll make sure and include that as well. So all of you will get that sometime tomorrow. Okay, well, I think that's most of the questions, at least the general topics that are being asked about. Really appreciate everybody joining us for the webinar, and Stella and Forrest, really appreciate you guys' contribution, and we're really excited about this partnership, and I think it's really going to revolutionize the industry. So thank you very much for the opportunity. Any closing words?
No, thanks, Craig, and thanks for everybody who attended. And I'm sure everybody's anxious to go get their free Lead Ferret account set up if they haven't done so already, and set up their free trial on Sales Nexus and give it a whirl. So we invite all of you to do that right away, no time like the present, and let us know as you have questions.
Yeah, that's right. We would definitely want to hear from you. You'll be hearing from us, as we said, tomorrow, and we look forward to working with all of you. Thanks, everybody, and have a great afternoon.
Thanks, Craig.